Good morning, grade 10s. Sorry, I'm laughing because the phone just went off literally as I'm coming on to live classroom. So, ladies and gentlemen, can you give me a green check mark? Let me know that you are ready to go this morning, that you can hear me, see me okay. Alex, I'm kind of hoping that today you can hear me so that we can do our Socratic Circles live. So we're going to do it the exact same way. We're just going to do it through the live classroom today, all right? So, perfect. Good, Alex. So, same process. We're going to review it really quickly. We're going to review our success criteria as well around conversation around Socratic circles. And then I'm going to give you some time to find a quote and all of that jazz. And then we'll get started. All right. So once again, give me those green check marks just so I know everyone's good to go. I've only got about 5 right now, ladies and gentlemen. So I would like to see the sea of green check marks so that I know you are ready to start and begin and that we're ready to go. Perfect. There they go. All right. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So I am going to give you, remember now, this Socratic circle, we are focusing on the second half of the novel. All right. So forget those, don't forget, but we're going to focus on those chapters 11 to 20. So I'm going to give you 15 minutes to go find a quote that was significant to you. All right. And then we will divide into our 2 groups. Okay. So make sure, again, ladies and gentlemen, just that quick little tip for you. Do not confuse a quote and dialogue in the text. A quote can include dialogue in the text, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to. All right. So go ahead. I'm going to give you about 15 minutes. Choose a significant quote. All right. Now also, I forgot to add this part of it, and I am changing it up for today as well. Instead of just an image that I made you do last time, I'm going to broaden it. Okay. Because some of us had issues around putting up images on the whiteboard. So kind of to alleviate that stress for you guys, we're going to do a CSI. So you can either find a color or a symbol or an image that represents your quote. So when you read that quote and think of the significance, is there maybe a color that you associate with that? Why? Or is there a symbol or is there an image? Okay. So you have the choice of either of those 3 to come up with to accompany your quote. Okay. So I'll give you guys 15 minutes to find that right now. Okay. Quote along with either a CSI. So go ahead, you guys. All right, grade 10s. That was about 15 minutes, but I have noticed that only about 4 of you have given me green check marks. So those of you who have not given me a green check mark, stating that you have found your quote and done your CSI according to that quote, can you please, just in the room chat, even give me an approximate, how much time do you need left? Or are you good? Give me a green check mark if you have found your quote and you're ready to start on a Socratic circle. Let me know in the room chat though. Give me a quick little time frame. So those of you that haven't indicated. All right. Taylor, how are you doing? Lily, Haley, Devin, Belle, do you guys need more time? Okay, let's do that then. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, let's go another 5 minutes. So those of you that are done, fantastic. Hold tight for another 5 minutes. Okay, and then we'll get started. All right, so I'll give you guys another 5 minutes to find up your quote and get ready for a CSI. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so if we can convene back into the live classroom, and I'm pretty sure I've got the majority of you guys done, and we're going to quickly review what a Socratic circle should look like. We're going to quickly review our success criteria around conversation, what you guys should be aiming for, and then we'll actually engage in our Socratic circle. Because it's the second time around, I'm kind of hoping that the process should be more comfortable for you guys, more familiar, and we should be able to get the switch done, I'm hoping, cross fingers, today as well. So it'll only take one class. All right, so let's quickly review. Remember, we're going to split up into two groups, right? An inner circle and an outer circle. Within the inner circle, you guys, everyone must say something. Everyone must contribute something online. Remember, if you are conversing with someone, if you're responding to someone else's quote or what they've said, make sure that in the room chat you type their name somewhere in your response so that they know you are responding specifically to them. Big overarching rule, nothing rude or cruel. That was done very well last time as well. Remember the outer circle, again, once we get to you guys, everyone must say something, but you have to respond to the process, not the content. Okay, and we did that very well last time as well. Nothing rude or cruel, and we cannot comment until the end of the process. I know it's so hard, but remember, I'm not allowed to comment as well, right, until the end of the process. So hold on to those comments. Remember, in the assignment, in the Socratic Circle number 2 assignment, you guys, for those of you that are going to be in the outer circle, I have given you a little note sheet as well, just to keep track of your thoughts while the inner circle is talking about their quotes and such as well. Okay, so you guys can download that. Okay, we're still going to stick to that 15 minutes. I found that the 15 minutes worked really, really well for you guys. So we'll keep it within that to share our quotes and images and colors and stuff. Okay, and then just keep that conversation going. The outer group is going to listen quietly with no contribution, right? Remember, use the note-taking sheet to help you through that process. And once we've switched, once the inner group has finished their 15 minutes, outer group will quickly respond, okay, to the process, and then we will switch, all right? Now, here's the success criteria. Remember way back, we actually developed this criteria together as a class, okay? And this is what I want you guys to focus on. I loved reading your responses. Tickle in my throat, hold on. I loved hearing your guys' self-reflections on the process as well, because a lot of you realized, I need to not just agree with everybody. I need to start actually taking a different viewpoint so that we can get those conversations starting, right? And we talked about that afterwards. So this is where we really want to focus. This is our success criteria, and this is where I want you guys to focus in on today, right? Being respectful. So we're taking turns, we're using appropriate language, asking questions, you guys, of each other. Push each other's limits around each other's thinking. It will help you to demonstrate deeper thinking if you guys push each other, okay? Make sure your listening skills are demonstrated. Be polite, constructive criticism. Be engaged in your conversation, right? Using that questioning, probing, deeper thinking, participating, well thought out answers, and support each other, right? So encouragement, share your opinions, but again, tying back into the respectful, make sure it's constructive, okay? And give honest feedback to each other. Yeah, exactly, Alex. So just like that, all right? So exactly, if you think someone found a quote and you think, actually, you could look at it this way from a different perspective, right? Then try to engage in that conversation and see if you can get your point of view across to that particular student. All right. So let's remember that as well in the back of your head. So that's where I want to stop there. So now let's go to, I'm just going to get out of this, you guys, and we'll go to here. And I'm going to bring up, oh, look, somebody's already been on the whiteboard, which is great. That's totally fine. All right. So I just want this in the background now so that you guys can see the chat and stuff, and it's going to be recorded. So whoever put this one up, and I can't tell from this computer, I'm going to have to go to my other computer. Can you just make sure though, whoever put up this quote and image, it's already on the whiteboard. Can you just make sure that if you are part of the inner group first, fantastic. But if you're not, you need to delete it and then put it back up when it's your turn. All right. So let's get the groups made right now. So it looks like I've got about 13 of you in. So we should do 6 and 7. So in the, let's do this, let's mix it up as well. So everybody needs to raise their hand within the group. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, so here we go. So the first 6. So let's go. Jade, Taylor, Ava, Shayna, Savannah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Taylor H. Okay, let's go. You guys are going to be my first inner group. All right. So Jade, Taylor, Ava, Shayna, Savannah, Taylor H. You guys are my first inner group. So again, I'm going to put 15 minutes up. Actually, no, we're not going to put it, I'm not going to put up a timer. Maybe I'll put a timer up on Blackboard to time you guys, because I want you guys to see the whiteboard and the chat that's going on the live classroom as well. So go ahead and get started, you guys, and we'll take it from there. Remember, outer group, no comments until afterwards. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that was 15 minutes. I'm not sure if, just let me quickly check here. If you are still typing, please feel free, just quickly finish up your last little comments here, you guys. And then we'll head to the outer circle as well. So hopefully you guys were following along with that conversation. And once again, so hard for Mrs. Ward not to jump in, but I will after, all right? So now what I'd like to do is, just as you guys are finishing up that, the conversation here and typing that inner circle, my outer circle now, the people who were watching the process, okay? So that was, so Alex, Belle, Abby, Devin, Haley, and Avery and Lily. You guys now need to make a comment into the room chat, okay, along the about the process. What did you notice about the process of this Socratic circle? Okay, so go ahead and make a comment in there, and then we'll switch. So maybe I'll give you guys just a couple minutes to type those in. I'm not gonna put up a timer or anything. I just want those comments to roll in. What did you notice about the process? Good. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to comment on the process as well. I'm really glad we went over the success criteria, I think, again. And from the first time doing a Socratic Circle, I saw huge growth in our conversation and in what we talked about and how in depth we went. Okay, so that was really nice to see. Okay, your conversation was fantastic. You brought up some amazing points, okay, that you guys picked up on. And if you guys didn't see me, but in the background, I was like, yay, they get it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch. We have enough time to switch. Okay, some fantastic feedback as well, you guys. So it was still positive, but we did already know that we were starting to see some differing viewpoints as well. And you guys did push your thoughts a little bit further. I really like that. So thank you for the feedback, outer group. Good. Thank you, Belle. I just saw yours come in. Okay. Now what I want to do is now we're going to switch. Okay. So those of you that are in the outer group, I'm going to give you 15 minutes to put up your quote, have your conversation. Those of you that were in the inner group, now it's your time to sit back and just read, listen to what everyone else is saying. Then we'll come back and do the same thing. All right. I'm going to leave. I think last time I put up a new page for you guys on Blackboard. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave it so that we get one whole group of quotes around the second half of the chapter. Okay. So if you, now the outer circle wants to go ahead, make sure that you guys don't, and someone's been messing with this. That's all right. As long as you don't erase it, because then I can go in and reposition it. All right. So those of you in the outer group, so that would be Alex, Belle, Abby, Devin, Haley, Avery, and Lily. If you guys can now put up your quote and your CSI, whether it's a color, image, or whatever, put those up and we'll do 15 minutes for you guys to converse. All right. So go ahead and get started. It is now. Thank you. Too busy reading. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just finish up what you are writing. If anybody is still chatting, I think I see Abby still writing there. Totally fine. You guys, seriously, it is so hard not to put my 2 cents in when you guys are conversing. I really do have to hold myself back. If you guys could have seen me, I actually did do a little happy dance. I was so happy because you guys, awesome. You nailed a lot of the major themes in the novel you guys picked up on. And your connections are fantastic. Connecting it to current events that are happening today, right? And to experiences that you guys have had, that you guys have alluded to. Phenomenal work, you guys. I just want to make sure that you guys just finish your thoughts there. So that's good. Now what I want to do is just do that last step, okay? And have the outer circle now make your comment. So if you guys can take 2 minutes, I won't put up a timer or anything, just make sure you guys do comment about the process. What did you guys see from the outside that went well, something that could have been done better? So please start typing that in as well. But as you guys do that, I'm just gonna comment on a few things that, again, I noticed. Yeah, okay, and Taylor, I'm actually gonna comment on that as well. Because I think in a classroom, in a traditional classroom, we'd be able to physically see a lull, right? If people weren't conversing and we able to see it physically. Whereas online, it is a little bit different because now I'm thinking, well, are they just not conversing? Or is it because it takes them too long to type, right? So there's that factor in there as well to see if the conversation is still going. And then you realize the conversation is going because everyone hits enter and we've got, 7 posts to go through and read, right? I wanted to comment on Devin's comment. I actually, when I read Devin's comment there, and if I don't know if I'll be able to find it if I scroll up, but I'm sure you guys all, even it was related to his quote. Yeah, right here. Look at that. I found it. About the violence that happened with the lieutenant, right? I didn't even think of that, Devin. So great pickup. When I read that, I was like, yeah, that was a good pickup, Devin. Because you're totally right. The author almost does allude to that one violent act, but doesn't go into a lot of description. And it does lead us into our own minds, right? And how we envision what entailed after that. The other thing that I wanted to mention too within there is, I think Shayna mentioned it, but it was like way up in the first inner circle when Shayna made a comment about friendship and Bruno and Shmuel and their boundaries. They're physically against a boundary, right? With the fence. But then there's also these political boundaries that they can't cross, even though they're not really aware of it because of their innocence, right? And that ties into one of the major themes for this unit, right? Those personal boundaries, personal and professional boundaries that we deal with within our lives, right? The professional boundaries that I was thinking of was between Bruno's dad and Hitler as well, right? That loyalty that happens within professional relationships. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you guys, good, I'm glad that you're commenting on the process. Thank you, very good. And why we may have seen that too, Savannah, that whole expansion of some of them, because it may have already occurred in the first inner circle, right? That's another thing too. That's why it's really hard to be part of the second inner circle, because the first inner circle might have hit on all the other topics that maybe the second inner circle wanted to talk about, right? So that's really hard to find different topics to talk about. But you guys did a fantastic job. Here's a question though, just to wrap up, because I know Mr. Borden's probably chomping at the bit, you guys, to get you guys for math. Okay. One last question for you, and then I'll give you your reflection to do before math. Is This is one thing that I picked up on in the novel, reading it for the first time, was what was an example of Bruno's innocence? What was another example of Bruno's innocence? Did you guys pick up on the language that he used? Yeah, Abby, I'm just wondering about the language. Did you notice the language that Bruno used? Yeah, go ahead, Savannah. Yeah, make sure you let Mr. Borden know. The language that he used to, yeah, my thing is, this is the big example for me, you guys, if you haven't picked up on it, was what was the town called where he moved to? What did he call it? Outwith. Where do you think that actually was? Do you think it was actually called Outwith? Do I see some light bulbs going off? Right? Auschwitz, Outwith. So it really shows Bruno's innocence, and you guys picked up on that as well. There you go, Avery. So it really picks up. Another thing too was he called, Hitler was known as the Führer, right? But he called him the Fury. That was another language move that the author used to showcase Bruno's innocence in the novel, okay? So good, you guys. I'm going to put up my PowerPoint really quick. Mr. Borden is going to snap on me. All right. This is your reflection, though, that I want you to do for this as a wrap up. Okay. So just in your online text box under Socratic Circle number 2. Okay. And make it in relation to the process that we experienced. Yeah, absolutely, Ava. So make sure you use it in relation to the process that you've experienced in the Socratic Circle, the difference between number 1 and number 2, okay? So I used to think, fill in the blank, now I think, okay? And try to make it on a reflection on the process that you experienced in relation to the Socratic Circles, okay? So that's all for today, you guys. Maybe we'll give Mr. Borden 5 minutes to set up for math, but then you guys head to the live classroom with him as well, all right? Fantastic class today, you guys. We will be moving on. No, we are not done with the book, Taylor. We are now moving into the process of really delving into the written aspect of this, all right? So that's where we're heading with that, you guys. We're not done with the book yet. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday. All right. Have a great morning with Mr. Borden. Bye, you guys.